Good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself on the show this evening. Robert and my big mucker Southside. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Ox. Evening, Southside. Hope you boys are well.
Hi, good evening, Ox. You good to the Abbey show the night with Robert, and good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
Yeah, there are a lot of people listening intently tonight to find out what Southside Super 6 is for the weekend, Robert.
He is due a win, the big man, isn't he? He's due one. Season's running out, but I've got faith.
Due a win. He certainly is. Good luck. Hope your selection's all stoked, Southside.
Aye, so they are. These ones I've gave out, I hope they stock, because last week's it was only me who won it, and should have left it. But no, hopefully this week, mate. I'm getting to that end of the season, so I had to sort of look at games that sort of meant something, you know. So
Aye.
Probably puts more pressure on the teams. But
I suppose mid-season you're ruining people's Christmas. Now you're starting to ruin their holidays. How are you feeling about that?
Don't start with that. I'm just hoping that we'll get plenty of goals at the weekend. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, mate. All right. Good luck. Well, listen, it's a big week for the club. This is a run-in. It's still in our hands. We need to put the ball in the net, Robert.
Certainly do, mate. We've had plenty of chances the past few weeks, and they kind of in the final third, but we've just not been clinical enough. And this is a point in the season where we need to start taking the chances and getting the goals in, mate. Eating the goal difference, of course, but the most important thing is getting the 3 points. But of course, you want to make the games as comfortable as possible. So if we can certainly do that, it's pleasing on the eye. And it gives us a bit of belief and confidence into the next games that are ahead, because they're massive, mate. Absolutely massive.
First and foremost, Southside, it's about winning, but I just like us to be a bit better in the final third for the midfield up, mate.
Aye, we'll need to see what permutations he picks on Sunday for that. But we need to be more clinical and need to be creating more chances and be on the front foot for the start. Can't have 45-minute performances out of 90, or even, no, it can't be happening. We've got to put in a close to a 90-minute performance as possible. But win is very important, but so is the goals now starting to get there, because the games are starting to dwindle away. So we need to try and get a few goals on Sunday against Kilmarnock, who will make it hard and difficult. They're on a good run. But we're fighting for a championship, so the league title. So we have to get on it on Sunday. So hopefully the team bonding session they were away on and that, and this rest period, they'll come out and we'll see a different Rangers on Sunday.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll hear from the manager. We'll hear the first part of his press conference. We'll discuss it, and then we'll get the phone lines open. Is that all right? We used to, maybe even on the second part. Yeah?
Sounds good to me, mate.
Yep.
Let's hear from your gaffer, Philip Clement.
Philippe, firstly, can you give us your team news for the weekend?
I have bad news around that. So Wednesday in the training was a duel. Player fell on corner on his knee, and he hurt his knee bad. So he tried to continue, but couldn't. So we made a scan and we see he has a tear in his medial ligament, so he will be out for the rest of the season.
Well, how big a blow is that, firstly?
That's of course a blow. He played 48 games this season, so he's been important, played a lot of good games. He's one of the leaders in the team also, and he took that role really well. And that was also the first thing he said to me that he wanted to be in the dressing room the next couple of games, although he cannot play, but to be there for the boys and to support them. So that's already a positive thing from his side, and shows also the commitment he has towards this group and this club. But of course, it's unlucky to lose him now. But it's been the story of this season that players get injuries, and then it's about others to show their quality and to step up what they did until now.
Yeah, you spoke about the leadership there. Do you believe there are enough characters? You have title winners in your dressing room, but maybe not many with experience of a very close title race. Do you feel like you've got other leaders that can step up now?
Yeah, title race or not, we have enough leaders, I'm sure of that, to be clear about that. But you become also leader by getting experiences, by getting things like now. And it's true that not many were in a title race before, but maybe other players were a lot, like I had in the past with some players, and there were no leaders because of that, because they were in a title race before 5 times, but there were other players who took leadership. So no, I think we have enough of those in the group, and I feel a lot of hunger in the team also to keep on chasing what we've been doing almost all year. One moment we were shortly above, but the rest we've been chasing, because it's been from October it was 7 or 8 points. So we're still the team who took most points in all that period, and we will keep on focusing on ourselves and trying to get these 3 points every time. What is, of course, a challenge in these playoffs, I call it playoffs, you guys call it same, top 6 games or whatever. It's about the best teams playing against each other, so there's more chance of losing points. Kilmarnock has a good track record, so they won this season 3 Old Firms, 2 against Celtic, 1 against Rangers. I had the luck that we won the 2 good games, not only luck, but because we did the right things in that game. And they played 1 draw also against Celtic, so every game will be tight. We saw it in St Mirren, we saw it in Dundee. It was not a big difference. We both took the points. I think if you look at the stats, that we were further to get 3 points than Celtic was in the 2 games. So it will be like this every game until the end. That's the nice thing about playing with the best teams against each other, and all respect also to all the teams who are in the top 6. They deserve to be there also, and they showed the last couple of months.
You said Red Van Yilmaz and Ryan Jack would be starting training this week. Has that been the case?
That's been the case, yeah, that partly they trained with the team, yeah.
Are they available for the weekend?
We need to see tomorrow. Ritvan maybe, Ryan not yet. He's too far away for that, to have a few trainings and then to be available for the squad. So for sure he will need more time than Ritvan, but it's normal also, because Ritvan he's been long time out, but less long than Ryan.
Do you have a time scale on Connor in terms of next season? Is he getting back for pre-season?
Pre-season he will be back, and he told me also that he's happy about that, because last season he missed almost all pre-season. So it's been already quite a miracle that he played so many games and he was fit so much time. But yeah, this injury was really, really bad luck. In a duel, falling down with 2 players and somebody falling on your knee, it can happen always in that way. So that's really bad luck.
There have been reports this week about Borna Barisic potentially signing a deal in Turkey. Is there anything you can say?
There have been reports for months about a lot of players and a lot of things. So as long as nothing is official and I see the right things in the training and in the dressing room, players are selectable. And Borna will be in the selection tomorrow, what I've seen until now. If he steps into the building with another mindset tomorrow, that's something else, but I don't believe so. I see somebody who's serving this club already a long time and who's really hungry for more titles and more trophies.
I think similar reports had said that John Lundstrom was also potentially in line for a move to Turkey as well. I know you've said that you want to keep him at the club and you feel he feels the same way. Has that situation changed at all?
No, what I said, there's nothing official around that, so I'm not naive. The longer that things last, the more possibility that other people step in. But for the moment, apparently water is too deep between two sides. But I see Lunny every day in the same way than he was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, or 5 months ago. So he's fighting for the club and he's not busy with that. All these players are busy with winning trophies and doing the right things together. Otherwise, they would not be in the selection.
Well, thanks for that, folks. Well, we need to take the big story that broke today about Conor Goldson, an accident, contrary to what some people think. Coming together at training, out for the season. He's not played in the last 2 games, but it just sums up our luck this season, Robert.
It does, mate. It does, especially when it happens in training. And as you said, it's just a coming together and an accidental fall, and these things can happen. The way you land or somebody lands on you, and it's unfortunate. It's a shame for Conor that he is now out for the season. I know it's only 3 weeks, but it's still, there's big massive games. I know for him included in a cup final. Some people don't think that's the true story, as you said, mate, but I think we can all agree that there's definitely an injury there. It's nothing to do with speculation. There's nothing about a fallout. I don't think it's certainly an injury. It's a shame.
But I'm then questioning the manager's integrity, Southside, and well, I don't know if I'd like to compliment Big Phil. I think he'd be a good go, wouldn't he?
It's all right saying it from behind that mic or writing it in a newspaper, but I go up and question him. I mean, he's been honest. He's not going to turn around and say he's got a medial knee ligament injury if he's trying to get rid of him in the summer, is he? You know?
No, maybe a cold.
But no, it's unfortunate, right? It's just been our luck all season. But he's out to the end of the season, so we just have to go on with it, as we say. There's no other choice, mate.
No, you have to go with the cards you're dealt with. I feel sorry for any player getting injured, you know. But for just an accident in training is always maybe no worse, Robert, but you get my point, yeah.
It's a bit more sickening feeling because it's not a competitive game you've had it in, it as in training where you're trying to work and build on the game ahead, and these things, as I said, they can happen. So the good thing is we've seen Balogun come in the past 2 games and he's looked quite sturdy, I'll be honest, Ox. So I think that's a bit of a bonus there. So we're not as bad as for covering that position as maybe thought we would have been. We've obviously got Ben Davies on the bench the last game as well. So there is cover there, but it certainly is a loss in terms of what he kind of brought. I know he has his critics, like every other player does, but certainly 40 games this season, as the manager said, he's certainly been reliable for most of that.
He's a great attender. Southside, Red Van not quite ready yet, so I take it you'll be having Bonner in your team when we get into that.
Nah, I think Bonner will be left back on Sunday. I would think he's left-sided player, but a left foot, and he spoke about Bonner as you heard him mention him. About his attitude and application and that, and he seems happy with it. So I think Bonner will probably get left back on Sunday, mate.
Ahead of Sterling, mate. What do you think?
Aye. Well, I'd imagine they might put him somewhere else in the team, but if I'm honest, after last week on the right side of the midfield, I don't think that worked. So who knows?
I don't think the White side's. I think he was okay in Benfica in the 4-4-2, mate, but I think he wants to be in the middle where he can influence these pacing power. I don't think he's a touch player for the wing, mate, where you have to get it out your feet and maybe put the odd cross in. I don't see that, mate.
No, he'll have a go at you. Maybe if he's left 1-on-1 with a defender, he'll probably try and go by him, but he'll kick the ball and run with pace and power. He's not got the finesse and that round about what you're looking for maybe at times, but I would think he'll probably make the team. But if he doesn't go at left back, I'm struggling a wee bit to think where he will put him, to be honest. I would be more inclined to say the bench, to be honest, as much as it, because you know my feeling on it. If you're not going to play him in the centre of midfield, right in the middle, then left, wide right doesn't suit him. So maybe he doesn't play Borna and he gives him a game at left back ops. Maybe he might just stick with that. Maybe.
Robert, thoughts?
Personally, I see Sterling getting on at left back just because Kilmarnock's got the boy Danny Armstrong at the right. He's quite pacey as well, and I think a few times Barisic hasn't handled him, both home and away. So I think Sterling will get the nod at left back on this one. And then it obviously poses the question of who plays in your away areas.
Aye, that's a good shout, mate. That's a good shout. You never know. And also, I think we're going to remember that Bonham went half injured last week. Well, it looked as if he went half injured. Right, Bergerie's phone line's open. We're ready.
Yep. Aye. Hopefully we'll get a few callers in tonight.
You're here. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, come and use your thoughts. Right, okay. There wasn't, obviously, apart from the bad news, there wasn't much in that there, really. They talked about the speculation for Van and John Lundstrom. Stuff that we've heard. Obviously, you're out of contract. You're going to have articles, printed paper articles, but we don't know anything as a fact yet. But I think I'd be surprised if the two of them were with us in August. Southside.
I think Barner's definitely away, and I would expect Lundstrom to go. I'm hoping he doesn't want to build his team round about him, if I'm honest. You know, said it on here 10 times. I would let him go. For the money he gets now and the money he's wanting, we could go and get better than John Lundstrom. So hopefully that's what will happen in time, mate.
Robert?
I think Borna is definitely going to be away in the summer, mate. A few months ago, I said here that I would have given Lundstrom a 2-year contract minimum. But I think as time's went on, his performances have kind of dwindled again, and we know he's done that in the past. And as time has progressed, the fact that there was talk that it was imminent, this contract signing, and now it's not, I think it's just been, terms haven't been agreed, and they'll shake hands and move on, and we'll have a fresh, younger midfield that will be built around Diamondi, if I'm perfectly honest. And you might even think that Sterling is part of that midfield as well going forward. So I would be surprised as well, mate, given the time we're at in the season.
All right, if it's all right with you two gentlemen, what we'll hear is the second part of the press conference then for the manager. Have a chat and hopefully get some callers, all right?
Yep.
Let's hear the gaffer.
Look, as the games run down and the points margin is still 3, you just still have to keep the belief that you can overtake Celtic.
Of course. Of course, as long as mathematically possible, of course it's possible. And there are much bigger surprises happened in the past, not only in title races, but in all kinds of games. You can be 3 points behind the last 5 minutes of the last game, and it can change. So we need to focus on one thing, and that's for ourselves to take as many points as possible. That's the thing that you need to do. That's the only thing that you control. So we're going to focus on that.
Abdallah Sima, timescale for his return?
No, not yet. Abda is out now, individual, and I hope to see him back before the end of the season. No timescale yet.
Rabbi Matondo?
Same thing for him. Oscar Cortes and Danilo, both of them, it will not be possible this season anymore.
Well, just to take you back to Connor, just how influential can he be still, even though he's not part of the squad, he won't be playing, but how influential can he be and his experience be in and around the dressing room?
No, it's still an important thing. It's the same as with the staff, it's the same with me. We cannot be on the pitch to give the decisive ball or to score the goal or to make the tackle, but you can say the right things. You can help people. in their motivation, in their calmness, in their whatever they need at that moment. And he's part of this group. And I think it's also a good sign that somebody wants to be there for the team. I think it's a very good signal also.
Stuart Kettlewell, the Motherwell manager, said yesterday that Scottish football would be better off without VAR. What's your opinion on VAR? Do you think the game would be better off without it? Do you support it?
No, totally not. I totally don't agree with that. So I think last week or this week there was the report about VAR. If you see the moments that VAR made a mistake, that Rangers was most involved, were most mistakes against us this season, but that doesn't change my idea. Totally not. Totally not. I think there will always be a grey zone in decision making. There will always be some subjectivity, but because of VR, there are less mistakes made than in the past. Nobody can deny that. But okay, of course, in moments it kills your excitement that you score a goal and you need to wait. But I prefer that than to have 3, 5, 10 more bad decisions during a season. So I want as much as possible an honest game and the right decisions. Will it be perfect? Will never be, because it will be decided by human beings who need to make a decision. And then also, not only that some rules are, they're not totally objective. And it's impossible also to make everything totally objective. But for example, the handball rule, I think it's something to discuss. That's another thing. But I think VR made the game more honest. So I will never be against it. Although we had the least advantage or the most disadvantage out of it this season, clearly. But still, my decision stays the same about that. And I think everybody needs to see it that way. You don't want to come anymore. I think if you stop with VR, then after a few months, everybody would say, the referee missed that. How is that possible? And with VR, they would have seen it, and then it was clearly a goal or a red card or whatever. So then you have the opposite side again. No, I'm totally pro VR, but I think it's important to keep on working on it. Like we need to work with the players on making things better, to make better protocols, to make it more clear towards managers, towards players, towards fans also, what is the decision making, why, all those things. And then more people will be pro VR, I think.
You must have been pleased to see James Tavernier, Jack Butler nominated for the Player of the Year award and Austin Goldson for the young player.
For sure, because they were booed off the pitch 6 months ago, a few times. The club was not at the right place, so it's also proof that there has been a good evolution made in the club. I see that Rasmus Kosland last season trained 5 times in all season with the first squad, and he's now nominated for that prize. That's a really positive thing for all academy and everybody who worked closely in the youth teams and in the first team with Ross, and from Ross himself also, the way he worked all this time. And for the other players also, you can only be nominated if your team is doing the right things. It stays a collective sport, so it means that at Rangers something went well. Not everything yet, we know, we're working hard on that to make it better and better and better, and to make it more consistent. I think it's been quite consistent. Pity of this 1 week where we lost points that we didn't have to lose, but now it's about looking forward.
When you're in the midst of a title race and the teams are playing on different days, are you the type of manager that watches the game and keeps up to date with the score, or do you go away and distract yourself?
Depends what the program is at that moment. Do I have work to do? Other things to do? That's mostly the case. Does my wife want something to do? Sometimes I need to listen to her also to stay married, because I work a lot. That can happen, and there are moments that both things are filled in, and I can watch the game. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do on Saturday. We will see.
All right, thanks for that, Mr. Fox. Yeah. Well, if anybody's questioned that man's integrity, Southside, then Robert can chip in. Hear him talking about VAR. He's so, I think, it's so refreshing to hear somebody who's not trying to score cheap points. Southside.
Aye, no, it was good to listen to him. I think you asked us a question before, but I keep it. I said aye. It just has to get tweaked and get better and better decisions made, because it'll work. And he's right in what he said. If you take it away, well, we've had it, and we've had the most decisions against us, and that's VAR. So you know what it was like before, as we've always said when we spoke about referees and decisions. We've been on the receiving end of many a badging. So you want to get better, but it was refreshing to listen to him talking about that and other bits and bobs about the club, mate.
Robert?
VAR's a love-hate relationship, mate, innit? You either love it or you hate it. If it goes for you, you're in favour. If it goes against you, you want it out as quick as it came in. It's here now. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. Certainly we've had a fair share of decisions go against us, but the manager's right. You're going to get moments, and it's never going to be perfect, but I agree with Southside. It just needs tweaked, and that's down to who's behind it. I don't know if you can bring in ex-players so you can get a player's perspective on the VAR. I know that's a topic that some people think would improve it. That's going to take time again, Knox, so I don't think it's going to change, but certainly it's one of these ones that we've developed it, we're going to get used to it, and hopefully as seasons go on, the decisions that go against us go down, and it's more fairer and across the board a better run kind of technology.
Just going back to the press conference, they talked about VAR, people's contracts. So obviously the big story was Connor Goldson's injury. Southside, the manager wasn't asked one about how we looking to change his shape, is he looking to score goals. Nothing really talked about Sunday's game. It's shocking, isn't it?
Aye, I thought nobody even asked him, do you think your players were worked less than what the other three teams that you played in the last games as well? No effort and application to see what he thought about that and all. And saying, I mean, John Lundstrom, model professional, been here doing the same things he did 3 months ago, 5 months ago. You know, listen, he sees him every day in training and stuff and sees him about the thing. Maybe only see him week to week on the football park, but didn't really agree with that. Because I think if you asked a lot of people out there, you think you could have showed a lot more and a lot more effort. But no, it's his opinion with what he says. Sorry, my train of thoughts just went, mate.
Well, just a thought about them not asking anything really about the game on Sunday. The media.
I thought they would have. They asked about who's available, and I didn't at the start any injuries, but apart from that, no, there was nothing else they really asked, which is a bit surprising. But I think it was all to do with the injury to Connor Goldson and the other sort of things that they asked without asking much about the game.
Yep. Robert, bizarre, isn't it, for the press?
It is, mate, but maybe they're just getting switched on to the fact he gives nothing away before an interview or before a game. He keeps it kind of close to his chest. He'll repeat what he sees and how Kilmarnock have been this season. So they probably knew the answers before they asked it. But as Southside said, there's probably, for them, there was more story in the Connor Goldson injury and contract situations than what his thoughts were on Kilmarnock. We all know what he thinks of Kilmarnock. We all know what we think of Kilmarnock. So there was no story for them there, wasn't there?
Maybe. But I'm interested if he thinks he's going to play Silva, if you're going to look to change your shape, are you happy with it? You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, Robert.
There's always questions we'd love to ask. If you only can get a space in that room, mate, you'd have hundreds of questions, I'm sure.
Oh. No comment on that one, Southside, will we?
No, I'll leave that one. But aye, listen, there's loads of things you could ask him. Shape, could we change it? Will we change it? You know,
have you thought about changing it?
Shape-wise, I think Kilmarnock will probably play a 3-5-2. The Days tend to play that more often in a back four. It's a free hit for McInnes. I don't think they've made Europe in that, so he'll no change his team. He might be a wee bit more adventurous. I think they'll look for play-off set pieces, free kicks, throw-ins. I think they'll play a lot of high balls in. But if they play Matty Kennedy and the boy Armstrong in each flank, then it means they're coming to have a go at us. I'd like to hope that they come and have a go, Ox, to be honest, because it'll make it a decent game of football, and hopefully we'll be able to exploit that. But aye, they'll be stuffy, and you know the way they play. They might play a back four and slightly change it, but no, I think he'll stick to the same formation. Ox, I think it'll be a 4-2-3-1. I think that's the way we'll go as normal.
Robert, you've got some thoughts on it, mate?
I'm just trying to cast my mind back to the weekend. After we went, obviously 2-1 up with the Dessers goal, did we go narrow with the substitutions we made? We obviously brought on, was it Lawrence and Dowell? We went kind of narrow then. We took Silva off. So, given the fact that we've not got the Sima Matondo, the only wingers we've got is Silva, McCausland or Scott Wright. So, maybe going narrow might be an option, but again, the way Kilmarnock's set up, it might be set that we go wide and try and get in behind the wing backs as such.
On form, and young Ross has done well this season, but he's not been brilliant since he had that injury against Motherwell. But Scott Wright and Silva, we're hanging our hat on them, mate. Oh God, Southside, help me out here.
I know, and see the thing is, Sima, Sakala, when we had them, when they played on the left, they could run in behind. We've seen Cortez get the ball and he wanted to go and run at the full-back until he got injured. So we've had to stick with Silva, who you can't know Colombo in behind because he's not got much pace to run in behind Faye. Scott Wright has it, but he just Scott Wright, I mean, it's a sad indictment that he can't get in that team and play regular on the right wing, because that's what he was brought in for. And with the amount of injuries and competing with young Ross coming in, and he came in and he started to play well. He's a breath of fresh air when the team were struggling. And since his injury, he's thinged, but he's not the type that's going to go with a blistering pace and get in behind. That is what Scott Wright can do, but for some reason, between him and the manager, they can't get in that team and play regular. And any chance he's had, he's not been very good. So you're left with Kilmarnock. I think pace-wise, we've not got that in the team. You're going to have to try and get a bit of trickery, or somebody can play through passes. He might stick Silva, he might pick him, and I hope that he'll maybe turn up on Sunday and put in a performance. But we're really struggling in the wide positions, Ox, to get somebody in. And I would probably I would go with Tom Lawrence. Doesn't have bags of pace, so he's not going to run behind anyway. So nearby Silva in there. So I would maybe try and stick him slightly on the left, where he can come inside to maybe get a shot with his right foot or link to play. Because I can't think of anybody else. And if I look at Silva's performance for the week before, then I wouldn't have him in my team.
Robert?
I think it's inevitable that Silva will play. Again, down to the lack of positions or availability we've got on the wings. You're right, Ox. We kind of hang a hat on the likes of Scott Wright or Fabio Silva. He's not hit the ground as the kind of loan signing in January that we all kind of wished and hoped for that he came with. Scott Wright, as Southside said, he's not consistent enough to merit a run in the team, even when we're played with injuries. So it'll be interesting to see how he sets up. I don't know if even an option or if you are playing Barisic at left back, and if you're playing Lawrence and Cantwell, you kind of go a 4-3-2-1, and you have Sterling, Diamondi and Lundstrom as a midfield three. But again, it sounds too compact when you say it out loud. So certainly interesting to see how he works it, mate.
That's how I maybe think the Bonner will start, and I get Southside's point, but I think he'll just maybe go with Sterling on the right, then he's only got the left to worry about. and it'll be McCausland or Silva there, and that's the way it looks at the moment, if that makes sense, Southside.
You wouldn't be doing Ross McCausland any favours sticking him out there on the left-hand side, to be perfectly honest.
That's what we done on Sunday, wasn't it?
No, I put him on the right, you know. Put him on the right.
Going for Silva, mate.
I know, but at one point I thought he went out to the right, because he did go out to the right when Thingy come off, because Sterling went to left back.
I know, and Scott Wright went to the right, mate.
Listen, he might go with Scott Wright, and I hope that maybe he's looking to exploit somewhere down the left-hand side. He'll have looked at it. That's how bad it's getting. You know, see if it wasn't at a critical point of the season and the young boy, I would have took a chance. If Ross McCausland wasn't in the team, I would have tried to just flung the young boy. His name's just escaped me now. Played it. No, because he's played midfielder. Cole McKinnon. I would just fling him on, give him enthusiastic. He'll go out and try. He's a central midfielder. He's played out wide right. Anything's got to be better than the dross that we're watching a £35 million player turn up and put in a performance for us, mate. We need to win this league. Can't be carrying passengers.
It has been dreadful.
So as much as he was well flying in inexperienced and trying to, because he's only 20, I know. It's the same age as Cole McKinnon. So what you got to lose, Ox? Just because he costs £35 million, he's not looking anything like that. So something's got to change, mate. We need something. We need a burst of energy for somewhere. And if these regular players aren't doing it, then hopefully put somebody in there that will even do it. Even if it's one game, mate, and he goes out and has a blinder for one game, you'll no start against him the following week, but it's about getting 3 points on Sunday. It's not about sticking him out because we've got to play him because we've nobody else, but he's dross every week in the last few weeks. He's not even putting in the effort. So, no, take him out and stick a young boy in with effort and heart and desire and see if he just does something. Just come on up my plane, you know what I mean?
I think you're fair. Well, it's not just Silva that's been poor, but he has been poor, Robert, the last few games, hasn't he?
It has, mate. And it's kind of frustrating to see that he's almost taken as a kind of laughing joke now at times when he's getting knocked over. He's got this cheeky grin on his face that it's just a joke to him at times. At first, when he came in, he's shown a bit of flair, creativity, especially against Benfica. He looked the kind of player that we were looking for, that we could bring something, but then he flings himself on the floor, his arms are up, he's not getting decisions, and in the minute he gets back up, you know he's going to go and fill the player that's just took him out. So I don't know if it's ignorance, arrogance, or just an ego, but certainly he's not came and delivered what we expected him to do when he came in January, and I don't think Clement's got the kind of answers at him as well that he was hoping for. For me, when Silva came in, it came out the blue, the signing, but in terms of where the director of football came, I thought he was involved with that massively, and I thought they'd singled out Silva as a player to improve and impact our squad, and ultimately again it's a loan that hasn't worked out overall, which is disappointing.
That's true, mate, that's true. He's shown that he's got technical ability. You know, at times he's done things that's nice for the ball, but I think you've mentioned heart and desire, and I don't know if that's their Southside.
Listen, he's a young player, right, and he's getting flung in at the deep end. He came to us. Forget the price tag. Just look at him as a young boy. But does he play under 18s? Does it under 18s, 20s or 1s or something for Portugal? He was talented, great pedigree coming through as a young talent. Broke a lot of records at levels, starting games and scoring in his first game and all that. And goes to Wales for a big, massive price tag. But he's came here and he's got to live with the pressure and all that. And he's probably struggling at times to cope with it as well. Maybe the league's a bit physical for him, and then he does the theatrics, right? He's learned for it. We can say the manager had a word and it stopped. But maybe he just can't handle the pressure and all, playing at the club in the magnitude of the games. And maybe that's what it is. So, but at the moment, his form's not been great. So the manager will either look at it and think, well, hopefully he'll turn out better this week and might have a better game. So he probably will stick with him. But if you dropped him and put him on the bench, no many people would probably be surprised.
No, if you were picking the team on form, I think he wouldn't be a starter. I think that's fair, Robert.
If you've got a full squad fit and available, mate, he's certainly a bench player. He might have that kind of spark of an impact player that he can come on when the game's stretched and get in behind with a wee bit of pace and a bit of trickery. But certainly, if we look at our squad, if we were injury free, you would certainly say he would be behind the likes of Sima, certainly on the left hand side, who again was brought in on loan. He's still a young boy in terms of ability and age. So if you compare they two alone in the same position, Sima's been injured, but he's had a much bigger impact at the club than Silva has. So certainly would be doing the pecking order in my books.
We're down to the bare bones. We're really down to the bare bones. Right, come and join us, give your thoughts. 0141 356 1972. So one thing we can agree with, that Jack Butland will be in goals. Correct? We tick that box.
Aye.
And I think that Tav will start at right back. And I think it's Balogun and Suter. That's a certainty.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're up to debate about whether you play Sterling or Borna. The camp split we used to, innit?
Aye, I think so.
Well, aye, because, see, the reason is, right, how many times has people said on this show Sterling has to play?
Aye.
Right, so if the manager believes that Borna comes in, because he might want to try and get down the flank, we might look to get him down and get crosses in or cutbacks or whatever, then that means he'll want to probably put Borna in there because he's the most comfortable at doing that. And Sterling's not looked always great at left back. So then the dilemma comes for everybody shouts, well, Sterling now has to find a position in the team. So I would think probably Borna will start just because of how you spoke about him. And that's the only reason I'm going with that. And I think Sterling did look a wee bit ropey sometimes at left back in certain situations, but he'll give you all heart and desire and commitment, and everybody was screaming Borna Disney. I get it. And I get what Robert said earlier on, maybe Armstrong might give Borna a tougher time than they might Sterling. So, aye, it's a manager's decision. Get off the fence, I know. No, well,
you get a big scalp up your backside there.
No, because, well, I'm trying to explain it. It's right, innit? I mean, I know Sterling will give his mare against Armstrong, probably heart, desire and tackling and that. No, I get that. But going forward, if we're looking to get Borna down the flank all the time and keep Kilmarnock on the back foot more than on the front foot, then Borna will be perfect for that, for getting balls into the box, isn't he?
Aye, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go, Robert. Here's a tweezer, see if you can remove that skill.
It's an easy one for me, mate. I'm going Sterling. Again, it's just because of the potential threat that Kilmarnock can bring with Armstrong. We were sitting talking about who we play on the left. If we played Silva on the left and Barisic, to me, I think that just opens up Kilmarnock's eyes as that's a target zone. And I know that's where if they focus all the attacks on one side, we can try and deal with that. But I think it's too big a risk to be taken, mate. And we need to start with somebody that's got pace and power that can nullify their strengths and basically keep us on the other side of the park and use our strengths as well. So it's Sterling at left back for me, pal.
Who are you playing at outside right?
I'll be missing the midfield. We're going to that first, aye.
Aye, because that's. I'm assuming I'm getting same side. I'm helping you with a splinter, right? What I'm saying is, right, I get Southside's point. Sterling, if he doesn't go left back, he moves bizarrely straight to outside right. Because yeah,
yep,
yeah. Are you thinking that as well?
If he's not at left back,
no. So who do you play outside right then, Robert?
Me. Right. I think I'll go Scott Wright.
Listen, thanks for the call, and I hope you have a nice summer. The thing about it is, he might be right Southside.
Aye, he could be correct, aye. If you're no picking Ross McCausland and Sterling as your left back, it can only be probably either Ross McCausland or Scott Wright. We haven't really got anybody else, unless again you don't maybe play with a winger as such, and you can same idea if he's playing Borna and he wants Tav to try and get forward and no sit in the narrow, and he might use a different midfielder to come in and sit when Tav's balling forward, then it might be a different tactic that he's looking at. He wants to get the two full-backs down the lines because that's the way we're going to hit them. But it'll depend on Phil, But it's interesting. We've not got a lot of choice, mate, to be honest. We haven't. No.
Oh, right, have we all agreed that whether what we think right or wrong, but obviously Balogun and Suter, and in front of them will be Diamande and Lundstrom. Is that your thinking, Robert?
Aye, I don't think there's anybody else again that can come in and move any of the two out, other than possibly Sterling, but we're already trying to play him at either left back or wide right, so that's the two obvious picks.
Aye, I don't think the manager sees it the way we see it with Sterling, but there we go. But what are you thinking, they two, if, I don't know, sitters is the right word, but you get my point, Southside?
Aye, it probably will be they two. I'm happy with Diamande. I'm just hoping that Lundstrom puts in a performance and beside him. So it will probably be the two ops, to be honest, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And do we all agree that CD9 will be number 9? Southside.
No, he's got to be, because Robert had Robert the other night. He'd have him next season as his striker, so he will have him, won't you, Robert?
Aye, CD9 starting for me.
Aye. He's not received his letter about that yet, but HR's investigating at Southside. We're a bit concerned about the medication he's taking, mate.
All right. Well, I suppose I'll need to go for a drug test and all then, will I?
You need to send another one for a Scott Wright shoot.
I think that's a dismissal, that shout.
That's how bad it's getting, but innit?
We are really down to the bones, We're really down to the bones. Do you think there's any chance that the boy Lovelace could appear in the forward areas? Or is he just, since his hammies have went, he's just waiting for next season? Because we're really short.
I don't think he's going to be about Ox, to be honest.
No.
But I know he came back and then he tore the hamstring again, did you know? He had a slight tear in it again. I think he was back out. So I don't know what the recovery time of that was going to be.
It's amazing what's happened with injuries, Robert, it's mental.
It's crazy. At one point we had a bare bone, and then it looked like we were getting players back left, right and centre, spoiled for choice, and then just at the critical point of a season, it's just our luck, mate, as you said earlier, that we're getting these injuries at this vital 6 games a season. So although the players maybe haven't been playing well that are out, there's certainly big games coming up that they'd love to be involved with, and we'd rather have them available for selection than not selected at all. So it's just our luck, but hopefully come next season, as I've said in the show before, a pre-season under Clement, hopefully a closer look at the fitness team, the fitness levels, will be a bit more clean bill of health next season. Fingers crossed.
Mr. Fox has put in a shout, is there a chance that Roof could come in and play a narrow right side of the park? Was that any chance of that?
I'm just laughing, man. It's shocking, isn't it? You're desperately trying to put a team together here that you think could actually go out and score goals, and oh man, this is torture. And I mean, this is how bad the big games go at, innit? Feel sorry for Big Phil, to be honest, because this is what he's trying to work out. Roof, the enigma. We get him on the park when he's fit, he scores goals. He's had park cameos and he's done absolutely nothing in the games that he's been on. Granted, Dundee away was a bit of a lottery, but he's not really done anything, so But it's another one. I suppose if Robert's shouting for Scott Wright, then roofing a 2. Will we go a 2 up front and just get right out the box here for this game on Sunday and play a 2, 4-4-2?
I think if he played narrow right, if that makes sense, Robert.
Aye, kind of right forward inside role rather than the out wide. But the issue is, if you were to go with the both of them, Dessers and Roof on the park, Roof gets injured, then that's your striker cover done, really, isn't it? So
did you say Roof? If Roof gets injured?
Yes, because you'd have to go on the park first, I think. I think he's an impact player. He's a player now for the last 10-15 minutes, mate. That I know Dessers has been available and played most of the minutes that he's been available for, so I'm not saying that he'll come on and just shore things up, but if you're needing a goal where it's one each or anything, Roof's the kind of man you look at the bench and 10-15 minutes fling him up and hope that we actually get some service to him. Because the last times we've done that, he's not had a touch of the ball. So it's fine having an impact player, it's whether they can get the service to make that impact.
Aye. I think we've admitted that Southside. It's not just been the forwards, they've not the service neither, huh?
No, listen, Diamandi played a cracking pass on Sunday, split their defence to Tav, that crossed it in for Dessers to get the goal. That's what we need. That's the type of passes that we need to be doing. And it was perfect. And he's just at our club, and we've had high hopes, obviously, when we signed him, gave him a 5-year contract, hoping that he'll develop into a really good player. Obviously seen something in him. He showed glimpses. He works hard. So it's about the midfield creating chances, and at the moment he's the only one that's sort of doing it. You need when Cantwell's on the ball, mate, and he's in the positions picking the ball up, he needs to be effective. And we don't really have wingers that are actually wingers that are going to go at defenders. So either we maybe have to go a wee bit narrow, maybe, and try and look to get football players to go on the ball and play 1-2s and make things happen. And why no shoot at the edge of the box when we're getting chances? And by the way, I watched them warm up on the Sunday. I was in early at Love Street. I'll call it Love Street. I know it's no, but it's St Mirren game. They shots, mate, in the warm up 10-15 minutes before they were Grin Rose Ed and Everton behind that stone. Supporters were ducking all day. Unbelievable, mate. It's shocking when you're watching that and you're saying you hope they shoot for the edge of the box. That just came out of my head. It was absolutely rotten, mate.
Maybe that's how Big Jack speaks so good. He's so fresh when the game starts.
It was pitiful on Sunday to watch it, mate. Honestly, that's professional football players at your club, and
highly, you've missed out a bit, mate.
Aye, highly paid.
Highly paid professionals. Aye, it's a puzzle, Robert. The manager's got a puzzle, right? So let's hear your full 11, young Robert. And we'll see if we can drop this letter.
You're not going to drop it, trust me. Butland, Tavernier, Barligan, Suter, Sterling, Diamandi, Lundstrom, Scott Wright, Cantwell, Silva, Dessers.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, mate. There's got a chance. Southside, you'll be similar, mate.
I would have same back four. Toiling with the left back. I would probably play Sterling just because of the physicality and the hope that he's not called on too often. But I just want us to be on the front foot, and I think Borna would be suited better. But midfield, Lundstrom, as much as I have to put him in, Diamandi, Cantwell in front. I would go with Tom Lawrence slightly on the left, and I would have Ross McCausland on the right and CD9 through the middle.
Right. When you look at this with the players that you said had, Big Clamont's actually done remarkable with the points tally. I'm not talking about the last few games, you know, and I noticed nobody's mentioned Dowell. I mean, he's been known for an odd surprise. You brought him right back in up at Ross County, you know. So this puzzle he talks about, he's done all right with it for the majority of the time. Southside.
Aye, he come in, get a new manager's bounce, the players got instruction, they go how he wanted to set out the team, and they responded, and we were getting results. We could see they'd done a good press, they were shutting down, so aye, it was working. So I mean, everything seemed to be all right. We've just been hit with a lot of injuries now at certain times. It's affected team selection. I mean, we thought we were getting 2 players in January to show us a bit of freshness in the team. One ends up getting injured at Kilmarnock. And now Seema's back out injured, who we had just back for injury, who started the season really well for us. So it's just been that, and he's had all this to deal with. And it's been hard for him to try and... I mean, he's done a masterclass, and some of the players have had to play out of position, and we've been critical of them. Because we want them to be good in the position they get selected for when they get their chance. But there's a bit of that as well, where players are playing out of position. But listen, he's got us to where we are, and we've got a chance to get 3 points on the board on Sunday and hopefully try and get a few goals that we've been struggling to create chances in the last wee while. But hopefully something's got to change. But it's been a massive problem for him since he came in. As he said, he's had a jigsaw, and it's certainly been one.
Robert?
He did say when he first came in that he likes the puzzle, he likes the challenge, and he's delivered at times. Obviously, he's had bumps that he said he would have, but when it's kind of mattered, when we've had players having to, as Southside says, play out position, play through pain barriers, just kind of knuckle down and get on with the games during the week, European games, league games, short turnarounds, they've done it, and that's kind of down to his managing, I think, of the man management, his mentality of the belief, the confidence he showed in the players. He's used the young players as well. He's brought in the likes of Ross McCausland, Cole McKinnon, we've seen as well involved in the squad, so he's not shy to use the young team when needed. But in terms of the injuries we've had, we've certainly done very well to be where we are, and again it just shows maybe a change in the players at the time of mentality, but over the past few weeks it's dwindled a bit, as you've said. But the main focus is that we stick together and we see a season out, and hopefully it's successful come the end of it.
If you could pick one of the injured players to be, just before we go to the tune the 2 years, or give you this one, you can maybe think about it. But I'll do it before we go. If you could pick one of the injured players to be available now for the run-in, what one would it be? Robert?
It's tough. I think I would be inclined to go Seema.
Don't disagree. Southside?
Probably Seema, because the effect that he had at the start of the season and the shifts he was putting in for the teammate, it would probably have to be him.
All right, I don't disagree with you 2 years. Right, get yourselves on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
Glory.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Just want to go back to the manager's press conference. He said a small thing. He said Cortez will not be available this season. Maybe I read too much into it. It was words to that effect. Maybe not the exact words, but words to that effect. So does that maybe intimate that he might be back this next season? I don't know if you picked up on the south side.
I heard them mention it when they mentioned Danilo. Well, I think the agreement was he had to come on loan with it, and then we had to probably buy him. But I don't know how that changes. Whether the club will say, well, injury doesn't make any difference. If you want him, you'll need to pay for him, or else we'll see if we can sell him somewhere else. Unless we can do maybe another loan deal or something, even if it was 6 months option, then a view to buy him, whatever. But I don't know. But I like to look at Mox, to be honest, for the brief games that we've seen him. I'm just gutted that he went off injured at Kilmarnock, and we've lost him, because I think he would have been a good asset going forward for us to the end of the season.
We're reading too much into it, Robert.
I think it's just the language and terminology is used, put the two players that have been regarded as long-term injuries in the kind of same bracket as, well, you won't see them this season. It kind of kills the question, the two birds with the one stone. Again, I think, like Southside, you may see him back maybe on a 6-month loan, because we didn't get a lot from him in terms of, obviously we've seen glimpses in game time, but we didn't get the full duration of the loan, or a fair assumption to make a decision whether to carry out the option to buy or not. So I think another 6-month loan would probably be fair and work for all parties. It certainly was a player that excited me as well. We looked at a kind of modern day winger that got the ball and wanted to drive and run at players, rather than this kind of back passing kind of way sidewards, quite direct. So I wouldn't be averse to seeing him again next season, if I'm honest, Ox.
We'll see. We'll see. You know,
do you take him, Ox?
In that position, I think I would, mate. I think we could do with young, somebody different. We've seen that he could finish outside that goal. Was that against Hearts? That was against Hearts, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, that was the last time we played well. Arguably.
If you could only sign one of him or Sima, who would you take?
Sima.
Just based on his contribution this season, you've seen more of?
Some attitude, I think. Not seen enough of the boy Cortez fully to judge him. But Sima was a slow start, first couple of games. And I remember when he scored that goal against PSV at Ibrox, I was screaming to get him off, and he scored a Valde, and it wasn't great, and then he just got better and better, and he showed some attitude. Just my thoughts on it. Southside.
Two slightly, they're different sort of players. And obviously Sima gets more people see him because he did contribute a lot. He was good for corners in our box, he done quite well for there. He worked hard in a lot of games. He can run in behind, he's got pace, you could probably play him through the middle. Cortez looks the tricky winger, looks like he'll go and want to take the man on, cut inside. So probably if you maybe judged him over 6 months, if we'd seen him up to the end of the season, then I think Cortez is more the player you'd maybe want to be in that position, taking defenders on. I think he's got more ability like that. I think Seema's more power and pace by them. Maybe if you get Seema more central, or even if you had the two of them in there, but I don't think we will buy the two of them. I think the two of them would cost too much money between them. I think the original price, Ox, if I remember, was roughly about 3 to 3.5 for Cortez, should we were going to do the deal. So, it's a lot of money to shell out for him, never mind going for Seema. I think he'll be out of our price range anyway.
What are you thinking, Robert?
Again, I wouldn't mind the two of them, but I think in terms of if you had the option of one, I would be inclined to still go Sima because of not just his impact he's had this season, his contribution. I think he's more versatile than Cortez, I think Southside's right. Cortez is probably the player we're looking for, but probably on the right-hand side rather than the left. I know Sima's predominantly played on the left. Then the last few games before he's injured there again, he played on the right, which was a bit of a difference. But I think, again, as you're saying, you can play through the middle, you can play left or right. So Sima for me, and again, just his attitude, the way he played in Prague away, mate, the defensive side of him, I think was something that we didn't see or expect. So the versatility and the flexibility he's showing, I think he's been a good addition. And unfortunately, he's been injured because I think he'd have had a cracking season overall, more goals, more assists had he not been injured.
I think he'll develop into a number 9, if I'm honest, Southside.
You might, if that's what we'd have to do, then you'd be, Oxby have got to buy a striker. You know, we might have to buy 2. So it might come down to that. If Sima's priced out the price range as much as he's done well here, we might end up going with Cortez, whether it be a loan plus a buy. He's probably look to hope that he'll do what we're hoping he's going to do and progress, and then we can sell him on in time. He'll contribute with goals and he'll do what we want him to do, go buy defenders and create chances. And then we can stick a lot more money towards our striker. You know, it might have to be that way because I think Sima, as much as he's been really good for us, but then again, he's just saying buy him and I look at him and then he's just picked up another injury. He's come back again, so it's back to that again. And same with Cortez in a way because he's just went out with an injury, you know, but he might cost you half the money that Sima was going to cost you. You know,
injuries everywhere we turn now.
I know, it's brutal, isn't it, mate? It's really bad.
You know, in a season like it, Southside?
No, mate. This has just been endless, isn't it?
Tell me the 49-50 one was bad. You remember?
Can't remember. 99. No, it's been. But listen, we always get injuries throughout a season with the players, right? Which, as you spoke about the other week, that Terry Butcher broke his leg. Remember? But even that season, you'll probably find we might have had 1 injury or 2 injuries, and that would have been probably it back then. You know, you'd probably have to look at the records, but he does suffer injuries. But come on, Oxby, we've had a lot of long-term injuries here happening. Danilo, you know,
Sima.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean, you've the everlasting Roof and Ryan Jack. You know, now we've got Matondo. Can he come back now after the 2 of them clattered him at Hampden? Because that seemed to be by doubtful, and now he's no available again on Sunday.
Aye. And you think about it, young McCausland's not kicked the ball really much since that tackle against him at Ibrox against Motherwell. It's red card all day long.
Red Van gets injured, you know.
International duty.
Mm-hmm.
You got a violin there, Robert?
I know, it's been a tough season with injuries. I've not known one in my lifetime, mate, it's been like this. It's certainly been at the bare bones far too often. I know we had the run to Seville where we had no striker. We had injuries then, but we had enough in the works to get through it. And Clement, as you said earlier on, he's done incredibly well with what he's had and the cards he's been dealt with, and he's still got players there that have been for the past 2, even 3 managers. So he's dealing with players that have had injuries their whole careers before he's even been here, and he's having to juggle it. But he's certainly showing adaptability, and the players have done it as well, the ones that have come in. So hopefully you just get through these remaining games, mate, and if you're successful at the end of it, you look back and go, how did we do that? And nobody will ever know the answer apart from Clement.
Right, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. We need you to call in. We need you to make the show work. It's difficult for us to talk for 2 hours without getting prodded with questions outside of it.
Aye, if you come on, the emails are out and off for the cup final coming up at Hampden. So I'm sure everybody that's getting a chance to apply or should get applying, because there's only a couple of, I think you've only got to apply to Saturday, certain time, and it's going down the scale of the majors, mate. So hopefully everybody that's eligible for one doesn't miss it and get on there and get your ticket.
Aye. That's when you find out Hampden's too small,
Aye, it's no the. Look around some of the stadiums and all, look at Wembley, and even even some of the stadiums just down south, and you look at our stadium compared to Hampden, mate, far superior.
Oh, without a doubt. But well, that's another debate. I think it's fitting for Scottish football as it is at the moment, if that makes sense for what.
Aye, mate, certainly it is. It sums up the season, sums up Scottish football, doesn't it? So it's a weird way they structure things up in this country and the way they work it, but they don't care about the fans, mate. As you've said before in this show, it's the fans are the forgotten men when it comes to the football and decisions and everything else in between. What's your team for Sunday? You never said it, by the way.
I did the questions on here, young man.
Very sorry, good sir.
Butland, Tavernier, Goldson. Goldson, did I say Goldson? Butland, Tavernier, Balogun and Suter. I think he'll go with Borna. Sterling will go to the right. He'll go with Silva on the left because it's all we've got, and it'll be Diamandi Lundstrom with Dates. It'll be very similar to last week's team, mate, because we are really down to the bare bones. I wouldn't give Silva again, mate, but I don't know who would come in. We take that. I can't see Scott Wright or young Ross putting him at the team there. I get Southside point about Tom Lawrence, but I think he keeps him. He likes to bring him on for Cantwell. So could you move Cantwell and play Lawrence in there just because you're down to the bones Southside? Would that be an option?
Play Cantwell on the left?
On the right or the left?
On the right. I did think of that. I know, maybe trying to just put him on to the right slightly and hope that whoever's playing the 10, you don't need to stay rigid like that. No, just move about when you get the ball, run into space, go and create things. But we're down to the bare bones. So you're looking at that squad now, and we've not even mentioned Raskin tonight. No dimension. And like you said, Kieran Dowell as well, as you said earlier. I mean, he might have been an option even to put in somewhere and hope that he puts in a performance. That's how bad it's getting, mate, So I just hope the manager can sort it out, knows the way maybe Kilmarnock's going to play, and he sees their weaknesses and hopefully we'll exploit them, and that's what matters.
Aye, so just to go back to Robert, Butland, Tavernier, Balogun, Suter, Horner, Diamandi, Lundstrom, with Sterling, Cantwell. I can't play Seamer. I thought Silver, I can't play him. I need to put Lawrence in there just because on that performance last week, I thought it was appalling. And then CD9 up front. Yeah.
Aye, I think between the threes, mate, we won't be far off. We'll get it right between us, I'm sure. There's nobody else to pick from.
They're all pretty similar, if I'm being honest, mate,
Aye. It's just asking the players to go and do a job, mate. It's just go and do a job. As Southside said earlier, let's come on, look at home. There should be more than enough on the park to go and get the 3 points.
Aye, there should be. There's a lack of confidence, about the place because of the two shocking results. We'd have been more positive if we hadn't got these results and we were moving on to this. This would be our 5th game in a row since their game, and we'd won 4, but we've won 2, the last 2, so hopefully confidence picks up a wee bit. It's all about confidence. Talk about somebody who's never fallen short of it and always likes to try. Let's hear Southside's Super 6.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for the 4th of May. This weekend we're going for over 2.5 goals again. So the first game is Birmingham and Norwich. The second game is Ipswich and Huddersfield. The third game is Leeds and Southampton. The fourth game is Plymouth and Hull. The fifth game is Ross County and Hibs. And the sixth game is Dundee and St Mirren. If you take all six over 2.5 goals, it pays 15.5 to win.
Is the Leeds and Southampton game no a bounce game the way it is Southside?
Don't know. Think no. It's got to mean something, innit?
No, I think if Ipswich start sitting, the two of them are just sitting there.
All right, well, just for the listeners, then just take them out if you want. Stick Man City in or something against Wolves or Arsenal against Bournemouth if you want. Oh, we'll get 3 goals in that game. That will save you worrying since you're pointing that out.
No, I'm just saying it's potentially a bounce game. Anyway, how we doing, Andy boy?
Not too bad. Just listen to you there. Well, my take on it, I think it all went wrong after the Motherwell game. I think a few untruths were told in there, and the main characters that's been there for the last few years took the huff, and it just went bang after that. What's really hurting me about this is we had it in our hands to go 5 points in front and to bottle it the way they did against Ross County and Dundee. Am I surprised by it? No, because this has been season on, season off with it. And the body language at the moment now, to me, as I'm seeing it, we don't look like we're up for it or we want it. I think some of the players know they're going. And I think, I hope I'm wrong here, but I think they'll shaft us from now, between now and the end of the season. They just don't look right. They don't look to have any fight in them at all. I mean, the game, St Mirren was shocking. You know, it's all right saying, right, we could go and win the 5 games, or we've got to win the 5 games, or now being 4. But we need goals. It doesn't matter if we win all the games. If we don't score goals, we're going to lose it on goal difference if we win the game. It's soul destroying, honestly, to me. I cannot believe that. Yes, I can believe it because I've done it year in, year out. But what really shocks me is the fact that we had it in our hands. They could not get up for the last few games after getting into a position of getting back in when we were out in the first place. I watched our manager. I know you say he's saying nice things and all that, but I watched our manager absolutely die against Dundee on that sidelines. I don't think he knew what to do. So he's gone about the bumps in the road, of which have been plenty. Well, they've not been bumps, they've been disasters. And we're now sitting there. So what happens next season? We get a few more bumps. Is he going to crumble like he did against Dundee on the sideline? And then to come out and tell us after Dundee and Ross County that he thought we were a better team. No, I'm sorry. I'm not wearing that. Don't come that stuff. That's just absolute garbage. So that's just my take on it, guys.
There's somebody else involved with your club, Andy, doesn't like the manager. Southside.
See, if you take away for a minute, Andy, right, because we've all questioned it, see if you just take away a bit of the heart and maybe the effort and that we've seen sort of what the players have been outworked. See, let's say that they've been outworked, right? You can see the puzzle we've had tonight trying to put a team together to face Kilmarnock. We need creativity. So you can see that the manager's had that obviously problem with trying to put players in there because he's bringing players back. Like you said, he tried Kieran Dowlett against Ross County, that brought him in, whatever, and it didn't work. But he's trying to do something to get it different. Aye, the attitude, the effort, and that should always be there. They should be working harder, running after the ball. But I think we're down to the bare bones now, Andy, and players are playing off for them, and you either need to drop them, but when you say drop them, then you go, well, who are we bringing in? You want to bring in Scott Wright? Do you want to bring in McCausland, who's just come back after an injury, a young boy, heaping loads of pressure on him? We've got to create chances. I agree, we've got to score goals, 100%. But I just think, players, we need to. I think the problem's in midfield, Andy. Don't think it's Diamande. I think we're no command in the midfield. If you run the midfield or control most of it for most of the game. You can go in and create chances, but we're not doing that, and I think that is the main issue.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with that. My crunch is whoever comes into the team, they don't look like they've got in the heart for the battle. And what you're saying is right. You win the midfield battle 9 times out of 10. You'll go on and dominate and score goals. But we get no goals. We get nothing. But it's their attitude. How can you go from, having this league in our hands? Let's not kid ourselves. Relative of what we think of these players or no, and just turning that in. That's worse than the 4 or 5 previous seasons that they've let us down beforehand, in my opinion. It was there. There's nothing to do with him this time. We had it, and we bottled it again. Same movie, same story, same ending. It's always the same with this mob. I don't know how he's going to do it because we've got no money.
But Andy, is it? It ain't the same characters.
Well, the majority of them are still there. The majority of the ones that's been there all the time, that's been through this course, apparently, have let us down, haven't they? They're part of the team. I get that the new people have come in. You know what I mean?
There's only about three, maybe 3 constants there, isn't there? In the last 3 seasons it's played this season, let's be honest, that's Tav, Lundstrom and Goldson. Bonner's been in and out. Ridvan's played, Sterling's played at left back. Suter's come in.
I like Sterling, he's alright.
What's that?
I like Sterling, he's alright, but they're not playing him in the right position. I would have him centre of the midfield.
Can't Mill's relative to you. He's not been involved in it. He came in a year ago, over a year ago. And then you've got the rest of them. The only 3 constants are, it's a different. It's
okay, you want to turn it that way.
Right,
okay. But we're actually bringing players in that are worse than the ones that we've let go.
Oh,
so that's down to the people that's on in the club. We let all the goals go. If you're talking about with goals, right, take out whatever I think of it, I don't. Like, take out the goal. What was it, Kolak and what's his name now? Sassy, right? Right. They scored goals, didn't they? This mob coming in's not scoring. The guy in the middle, Diamond, he could be okay, right? But the rest, there's something badly wrong in that club. We all know that. I don't need to come on here and tell you that. It's season on, season off. We win nothing. We put 3 trophies in the trophy room in the last 9-10 years. It's not good enough. We should be good enough. Keep getting told on here and everywhere else, don't we? That the quality of Scottish football is gash. Yet we can't sort it out. And even when we're beating these teams that are so-called gash, we're struggling to beat them. They're not that great. Yet we're saying, we've got this. They don't like. There's got to be a mentality. There's got to be something in there that makes it just go and try. That's all I'm asking at the team. And this mob's definitely not trying for us. And we're in a position to win it. Explain that, because I can't get my head around that one.
No, I don't disagree with that point, Andy, and I don't disagree. They were absolutely appalling and maybe even worse against Dundee, mate, when we drew. Robert?
Andy's right. The fact that we were so far out of a title race when Clement first came in, to then be so close to having it in our hands to go 5 points clear, that's a massive frustrating point from the supporter side of things. You've galvanised a team that were dead on their feet, no cohesion, no chemistry, getting booed off the park, to being in the lead, leading a title chase, to then just crumble against teams like Dundee, Ross County, Motherwell. 2 of the 3 teams are in the bottom 6. And I think that's the most frustrating thing from me personally, is it's teams that, I'm not saying you should beat a team before you play them, but on paper, you would not expect to drop points against those 3 teams. If there was somebody in amongst the top 6, 3rd or 4th place in the league, you get a draw. You don't want to lose points, of course, but it's the teams in the manner we've lost the games in, we've dropped points in. That's the frustrating thing, and I know but we're down to bare bones as we've said all night. The players need now to roll up their sleeves, because this is the business end. And if you've not got the hunger, you've not got the desire now, with 4 games left to go, when you can still go and win a title, yes, it'll be tough, but it's still manageable. If you've not got that mentality, then you've not got the ability or the pressure there to hold a shot for Rangers Football Club. But Andy's right, it's frustrating.
Oh, it's never frustrating. We've been joined by Al, all the way from Canada. Evening, Al.
Good evening, guys. How you all doing?
Good, mate. Good to hear from you. How are you doing, mate? What's on your mind?
Yeah, good to hear from you guys too. I was listening to you. Nice to hear Robert, Southside, and Andy come on too. Actually, I agree with what Andy's saying there. So he's got some support tonight for sure. But I got a couple of points for you here. I want to tell you how we're going to win this league. I want to tell you what I think what Rangers have to do for the future because we have to play a long game here, not a short game. And I'm going to talk about what you've always mentioned is the shape. The shape's totally wrong in this team. And so, to be honest, to win this league, what we have to do, of course, it's easy to say win our games, but what we have to do, we have to go to Parkhead and win. We have to win. And then what we have to do, Celtic have to drop some points. So the only way I see them dropping points is against Kilmarnock on that Wednesday night game. That's a perfect game for them to drop points. But we have to go there and win, and we don't deserve to win the league if we don't beat Celtic. We have to beat them. We should have beat them at home there. And actually, Andy's right. We should be 4 points ahead right now. We should have beat Motherwell. We should have beat Ross County, and we should have beat Celtic at home. We should have did it. So we should be 4 points ahead, and we've won the league because all we have to do, even if we lost to Parkhead, we win all games, we win the league. So that's really, really disappointing. But my theory is not mentality on how the Motherwell game. They played so hard. That Hearts game you mentioned tonight, and the Aberdeen game, when we went clear at the top of the league, those games were amazing. But what happened is we got to the top, and then we just relaxed. We took the foot off the gas. You can't do that if you're going for a title.
Southside.
I think just probably mental pressure on some players. We have got a young squad. We've got players in there that haven't competed very often for league titles. And I think a loss of form in some key positions with injuries. That is all part of what happened in that sort of time. If we'd beat Motherwell at Ibrox when we had loads of chances, and when they went to Tynecastle and got beat, that was the gap there. I think that would have made it 5 points, and then it was just a matter of doing what we were meant to do, beat the teams that we've said that we didn't beat, and we'd have coasted it. It would have been one by now. But we didn't, and we got ourselves in this position. So you have to try and get yourselves out of it. But we need to get back to first and foremost is creating chances. I heard you saying about Dundee. We were worse against St Mirren on Sunday than we were at Dundee. At least at Dundee we created some chances and made their goalie make a save. At St Mirren we were absolutely rotten, and their goalkeeper set 2 goals that got us a victory. And that's what I seen on that Sunday. But the performances need to improve, and these players, whoever he picks on Sunday, have to get stuck in and get a win. A win's the most important, but we need to try and score goals and all. But to do that, you've got to create chances, and Tessers has got 20. He might need 3 or 4 to get 1, but we need to at least try and get him some chances, because there's nobody else round about that looks like they're contributing, they're going to look like scoring. So something has to change, and hopefully Phil's got the answer.
Your next point, Sal?
Yeah, I just want to touch on that too as well, because if you think about it, since Clement came in, Celtic dropped 19 points. 19 points. They handed us the league. They shined up for us and said, here you go, take it. And we just couldn't take it. We dropped 15 points. But typically, we should only have dropped 8, to be honest, so we should be ahead. So that's really, really, really frustrating. But the second point is Rangers' future, right? Because if you think about it, when we came up from the leagues 2016, 2017, we were destroyed when it comes to financial. We got ourselves in a position where last year we brought in 80 million. 80 million. When we went up in 2016, it was about 20, just under 20 million in that first year. It's massive. And what we're doing is we're spending all these money on these big-time players that are coming in. That's obviously went through junior leagues, professional leagues, always probably one of the best players in the team. Great. But they're not gelling as a team. So we really have to stop. We're spending all our money on these players, like Silva, Lammers we're probably still paying on, Dessers. Actually, Dessers, 20 goals, you can't complain. But all our money is going on these players. We pay 80% of our budget goes on players at the wage bill. It's it's insane. There's no long-term goal in that, I don't believe. What we have to do, we have to go back to basics. We have to invest in the younger players, and Clermont is doing that by bringing the young guys in like McLaughlin. And we have to buy the best that we can players in. I believe create a team like when Leicester won the league, or like when Greece won the Euro 2004. We have to have a team. I don't care about buying $40 million pound players like Silva, because obviously you can tell, it doesn't work. That's what I think we have to do. That's where the future lies.
Robert?
It's the risk of doing transfer business, isn't it? You sign a player for 3 or 4 million, like we did with Dessers. They don't hit the ground running. But if you had said at the start of the season he was going to have at least 20 goals, you'd have probably bit your hand off. If you then go and get a young boy and he doesn't cut it, you say that's a waste of $1 million or 2 million for whatever number of years we've done him at the club. We tried it before. We've had players from our own country who we thought were good enough for the club. I know it was a different time and a different team they came into, but you'd like your Jake Hasties, your Jordan Jones, your Greg Docherty's, they didn't cut it and they looked good in Scottish football. But when they came to Rangers, the pressure was totally different. So I think that's why over time we've went to different markets. We've tried the loan markets with some players. Some have been hits, some have been misses. But that's just the luxury of who you bring in. But I think it all depends on the management. And I know the finances you talked about there, Al. Clermont has said that it's too high. The wage bill particularly is massive. And he himself wants to get that down as well. So I think come the summer window, that's where we'll see a lot of probably more realistic and negotiable transfers being done. And it's probably why you haven't seen John Lundstram sign a contract, because we're not getting held to ransom anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree. We should have 11. My opinion is we should have 11 Sterlings in the team. Even if we bought 11 players at 2 million, 3 million.
You play them in goal. You play them in goal as well.
Yeah, no, Butland can stay in goal.
Right, 10 Sterlings in. 10 Sterlings.
Butland and then 10 Sterlings. But you know what I mean. I think we have to. We always say, like the Robert's saying, it's true. Right? You've got these younger players, but the thing is, younger players are coming in and they're playing on a team with, and they look at somebody like Silva and say, "Man, you're 40 million. You're a 40 million player," and it kind of they shirks them. What I'm saying is about a team. We build together as a team. If you have 11 3 million players, you go out as a team, and that's what Clermont's doing. He's realised what was happening before was all these players were going to work, which is playing for the team, going home and doing their own thing. They never socialised. Goff said it. Teams that drink together win together. It's 100% true. In the new age, the players aren't doing that. They've got families. They've, go out and buy the nice new car, or go to the store or whatever, right? They're not doing the things where they should socialise, like Gaza and McCoist and Durant. All those guys did it. That's why they were successful. I think you'll bring it back in, but you have to get rid of all the deadwood for sure.
And then you come, mate.
Yeah, I totally agree with the guy there, but we'll not bring it in if what they said they're going to do and be tapping the South American market. Half of them you've never heard of, and they can't cut it in Scottish football. Not many of them at all make it, if any. Morales wasn't that great with his record in the league. We need to get a bit of identity back. Some people in the club that understand the club, that's going to impart it onto some of these foreign players. I don't know where we're going to find them, but we need to bring some of that back. We can't keep going and getting foreigners up. But most of the time now, you're lucky if there's a Scottish guy in the team that understands it. When you had the mix before, when you had the Loudrips and George Alberts and then coming, but you had your backbone Scottish players that understood it and imparted it on the players that were coming in, so they understood what was going on and what Rangers were all about. These people don't care. We're shopping in the wrong market. Surely we're not going to go South American again. It don't work. Go Scandinavian and already. They're rugged. They're a bit like we're in race. They'll get stuck in, and it just don't make sense.
You'd rather
for me anyway.
You'd rather go for a Swede than a Brazilian. Is that what you're telling me, Andy?
Well, at my time, yeah, I'd go for a Swede because I can't do that with a Brazilian now. But no, I just think we should go get rugged players that understand the game. They kind of players don't work. Something sticks out on them. They fade, they die. I'm convinced some of these players are not as injured as they say they are because of the physicality in Scottish football. I just want to see my team back. I get that we're not going to get, Rangers people like us or the people we've had over the years. But all I'm asking for is a couple, 2 or 3, that can impart some what it is to play for Rangers on these players. Some of them might understand it and say, well, this is a great club, this is a great fan base. I want to play for them. These players don't look like they care. And that's what breaks your heart, let's be honest. Watching our team putting these people on the field that don't care. Because I don't care what anyone says. They don't. They're not interested. I know it's modern day football and all that. But no, I'm sorry. We need to go back to basics. You said it yourself the other week there. We need to get some Rangers minded or somebody that understands the club. It would help, I'm pretty sure. Because we've got no identity at all. We're losing every tradition going here.
We'll miss Ryan Jack and Stephen Davis, in my opinion.
I didn't say it about Ryan Jack because my group members will kill me.
What's that?
I didn't say anything about Ryan Jack because my members in the group will kill me because I get so much hammer over him. Right?
I'm just saying their time's up and it's keeping an end for them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I said that 2 years ago. Jack should have gone. 2 years ago, I said that on here. There's no point. That boy was done 2 years ago. But I love as a player. I've loved him. I think he would have had a fit. Ryan Jack would have probably won the league. I don't know if people agree with me, but he had that. But he definitely drive the team on. The Scouts guy, he always played better when Jack was alongside him. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, the best
Jack's
he's
done,
played, the best he's played this season, the best that Lundstrom's played this season is when Jack was beside him and then Sterling was beside him, Southside. No Lawrence, no Diamandi, no Cantwell.
Aye, probably has. But listen, he's no good enough. No, for what we want. We need mobility. We need dig. We need somebody that creates all that. And we've all talked about him until we're blue in the face. Some people want him, probably want to give him a contract. I don't, and I said it on here for long enough. I want energy, I want enthusiasm. I'd like somebody to build a John Lundstrom in there, but somebody that can go and dictate the game, go on the ball and look like he's going forward, make the passes Monday made on Sunday. That's what I look for in a midfielder, so that's what I want. But Andy, as you said, when you're talking about Rangers supporting sort of players, right, we've got a group of young boys. If you watch the under-18s, right, if you look at all the boys there, they're the boys that you're hoping in a year or two or whatever will come into a squad eventually. Some are 16 in that team, some are 17. So you're hoping that some of them maybe in a year or two down the line might make this breakthrough. And if you look at all the ones we've already got, Devine, we've got King, we've got Ross McCausland, we've got Cole McKinnon, you've got Bailey Rice. They're all blue noses, but they're not anywhere near that.
I agree with that.
So,
I agree with that, but the problem is
they've got to be good enough, Andy. I know, because
they won't give them a chance to see whether they're good enough. That's the problem. They don't get given a chance to see whether they're good enough. That's the problem. They've destroyed a lot of young boys. Rangers hammer young guys and all that show potential, don't get given a chance, get out alone, and a lot of them lose hearts. Right, if they come in, have 4 or 5, 6 games, and they don't play, then that's fair enough, but they don't give these boys a chance. They'll come out, they'll give them an odd game, so well, this guy's got potential. But we will not give him a chance. It doesn't matter, make no difference what anybody says. Rangers will not play him. Ox has said it as well, lots of other people. They won't even, they fear half the time to try because of what's on the line. And wherever we're getting foreign managers at Rangers, it ain't going to happen. We're never going to get that back. They just look at their own continent, and it don't work. It certainly does not work for us. The foreign model that we've had, I don't think works.
How have you got a Belgian manager looking at his own continent, but we're going for South American players? How is your geography?
You know the point I'm making there, right? That's the model he's saying is going, but a foreign manager will not touch Scottish boys or out like that. There's that Conan Banner, what's his name, call it, Aberdeen, right? I wouldn't mind him coming in, the boy Armstrong. I wouldn't mind him coming in for Kilmarnock. They understand the game. You've got to bring someone.
You want your traditions back. You want they two to sign for our club who love us. Anyway, Al, in you come.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you go, mate.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I think we have to put like a broad structure into the team for sure. Maybe like 4 or 5 guys. I think if you just think about it, I'm not comparing us to the Man United team of Beckham, but if you think of Ferguson there, what he did was he brought in 4 or 5 guys like Butt, Neville's, Beckham. Obviously, they're gigs. They're all good players, of course, but there was a mixture. You know, you had different nationalities there too, but you had a solid structure. These guys were given. That's what I'm saying. The manager has to put in confidence, put the guys in, maybe 3 or 4 of them. One at a time you're not going to see any difference in them. They're going to shirk. They're going to hide a little bit in the sense they're not going to shine out. So then they fall back out the team, just like McCausland did, because obviously the fans have opinions and stuff like that. But he has to show a little bit of faith and a little bit of courage, and that's what it's going to take. But it's a long-term game. I just don't think buying these players and bringing these players in is a waste of money. It's our money they're wasting, right? So I think that's what we have to do for sure. And I think that's going to help us going in the future because, as I say, you don't have to be the best. If you want, it's a team. You win as a team.
Blend. Get the blend right. Yeah. Get the blend.
Get the blend right for sure, yeah.
Aye,
that puts me back to my last point there was the shape because I'm maybe a little bit old school, and I know they talk about the new game and false number 9s and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, there's 11 players always on the park. I think we need a structure, 4-4-2. If you think, one of my favourite teams when I was a season ticket holder back there was Dick Advocat, and what the balance of the team was perfect. You had Albert's Gio on the left, you had Rayner, Ferguson on the right. The midfield wins us games. You can't play in a horizontal, like a vertical line up the middle of the park. It just doesn't make any sense, like you say there, Ox. 4-4-2, that's what we have to do. And we have to put, I see Sterling being the next Claudio Reyna. That's where I think he could be just as good. That's his position. That's where I want to see him.
Alex, you might have noticed on here, I quite like Sterling. I think he's got something about him.
Yeah.
I do. I think he's got something about him. It's that pace and power. And getting the blend right might be that we maybe need 2 or 3, if you like, Rangers men in there, but they've got to be good enough, mate.
Oh, they've got to be good enough. By the way, I know what you was hinting at there by the persuasion and all that, but I was meaning this as well. Yes, I would like my traditions, but what I was meaning, I would like some Scottish players in there that understand the game as well. Because Rangers wouldn't touch it, let's be honest, Rangers wouldn't touch a Protestant if he was a Pele or a Maradona these days, would they? You know what I mean? Because they're not prepared to stand up for the traditions that are out. But yes, we'll have to get the blend. We'll have to get some Scottish players in there that understand that game, along with the players that he's going to go from.
You maybe get the boy Barron and some of them maybe just not announced it because of where he's working at the moment. And the abuse he might get, you never know. You never know.
I didn't realise he was one of them, though.
I never said he was, mate. I never said he was.
I think you implied it to me.
I never did. You never heard. You never listened to what I said, mate.
I thought he was meaning persuasion, and if I've got that wrong, I'll odd my hands up. But
it's live. Watch what you're saying, mate. Yeah, carry on, Southside.
The thing about Conor Bannon is he's had a football time at Aberdeen, and they've given him so many games to develop, and now he's getting noticed. He's not signed his contract. I don't know whether Rangers will go for him or not. But listen, you look at the age of the boy. You look at the age of the boys that we've had in that academy, and they're not anywhere near our first team. And yet we're looking at a boy at Aberdeen who's looked all right, supposedly for what people are saying, and we're expecting him to come in and just carry on. He's young. He'll take the demands of Rangers. He'll be able to take that pressure and all that. It's a big gamble to take. That's how I'm saying. Keep some of the boys. I hope Clermont get some of these boys in the summer and let them train with the first team, and hopefully we could at least get 1 or 2. Can he keep going and buying them? Raskin was a project, obviously. How's that worked out at the moment? It's no, has it? But it stifled the growth of one of your young players possibly getting in there. Well, I'll use Cole McKinnon as an example since he's a central midfielder. Now, if we'd maybe took a chance on him, but it was the other manager, you got to remember it was looking at him. But just for instance, if he had a chance, as Oxley said many a time, if it's a young boy at the academy playing wide left like Silva's playing, he'd be hooked half the park weeks ago and not be seen, as we've all said. Same with Cole McKinnon, if he came in and had a couple of bad games, he would be out for weeks. But if Raskin was doing it because we signed a player for the continent, it's all right. No, we just put up with that because we paid money for him. No, we need to try and be... That academy up there is no worth anything if it's not going to produce anything. And there's no point in picking out one, no, we sold Patterson, we've done this. That academy is not bringing players into our first team on a regular basis. It's been going for a long time. And how are you going to attract players to come to it if they're not getting a pathway into the first team? I know you've got to be good enough, but boys might be good enough. They're just not getting that chance because of the pressure that's involved. But hopefully, come on, I'll give you one or two a chance, and hopefully one or two we will develop next season into our first team going forward. Not playing every week, but getting chances to come on and develop, and maybe the following year kick on and be a regular in our first team, and maybe save us wasting millions on players that aren't cutting the mustard.
I would like the manager to sign his players, Andy. Let him live and die by his players. But where they come from, who they are, I just want him to, if we're going to back him, let him build his team. And if it's successful, we say yes. If it doesn't work out, he'll pay the price for it, won't he?
Yeah, look, he's got to be there. There can't be any mump in the gums. He's got to be getting the chance. I'm aware of that. We can't keep, ripping it up every close season and coming back with players that we've never heard of. We've got to start getting forward. We've got to start showing, that we're moving them forward and we're improving. But this team's not showing that. It's gone back to the same way. And in some cases, it's worse because to get into that position, that, as I said earlier on there, that's shocking. You just can't do that. You can't explain why they would do that. It was in our hands for the first time in a long, long time, and we just absolutely bottled it. Hopefully, we'll win the 4 games, and we'll see where it goes. But Southside said we need to start scoring a lot of goals here, because it could come down to that. If we win all 4 games, it will come down to the goals. I'm hoping Hearts are going to get a draw tomorrow and we win on Sunday, and then stuff them next week, and then it will be all right, and I'll come on happier. But I'm just worried, like every one of us. You can't not be, to see how we've fallen away there for the Motherwell game. You can't explain that. Jesus Christ. I mean, they did well against Hearts. They were coming in. They looked like they were coming. We're in there's 12. The treble's still there, isn't it? And the guys that are not going to be there going to go out,
Still is. Stranger things have happened.
Aye.
You need a bit of luck, but aye.
We're going to have to make a lot of luck as well. Make our own luck. I know we need luck, but we're going to have to make it. And that starts on Sunday. No matter what worries me is, if they win tomorrow, I don't fancy us chasing. We usually blow it when we're chasing points anyway. That'd be a 6 behind. And that's what's giving me the fear for Sunday. I wish we were playing on the same day.
Oh, what do you do with the white flags during the week, Andy?
I don't do white flags. I'm no surrender. Listen, I'll never give in, right enough, so you can stuff that. I'm not having it. Listen, but what I do is I'm honest and I'm showing my concerns. You can't keep saying it's going to be all right when 99% of the time it's not been in years. It's just, you see what I want them to do? Prove me wrong. And then I'll come on and I'll say, well, what did I know? But even if we went on to win the treble, it would be one of the worst Rangers teams that's ever won the treble or won trophies at Rangers. Because they gave us 18 points they turned over and we're still struggling to win the league. That's the frightening thing for me.
But form, wasn't it fantastic? But the form just dipped at the wrong time, and I can't put my finger on it because even though we're struggling for players at the moment, we have been the whole time. Robert, I never thought I'd say this live in air, but some of the things Andy says, I don't disagree with him, but don't let anybody know that.
No, he speaks the truth as always, Andy. You know what he says, he speaks his opinion and he's right. If we go on and win the treble, Andy, I mean, yeah, you're saying is bang on. It'll be one of the probably head-scratching Rangers teams to win a treble, but nobody's going to think of all the blips and bumps in the road. It's going to be a treble at the end of it, but a treble is far down the line. The first thing we've got to do is beat Kilmarnock on Sunday. I know they play on the Saturday, but we can't let our focus drive to that. We need to be focus on ourselves and just get the job done against Kilmarnock. That's first and foremost. And I know performances haven't been pretty, but the results are most important, especially at this point in the stage. You know yourself, 3 points matter more than a performance. That's what wins you this league title. And as long as we do that, whether it's pretty or not, a win is a win. And as long as we keep doing that between now and the end of the season, we'll get that treble.
It's going to be exciting, Southside, then now.
It's not going to be good for the blood pressure, that's for sure, is it? I'll take a helicopter Sunday, man. That would just be perfect again, that would. But
you're
no.
a lot older now, mate. You
I know, but we'll be back in Edinburgh, wouldn't we, that day, same as we were that time. So that would do for me. That would but listen, no matter, but it's there, and Andy, we've let it slip. There's no kidding, right? We know that. We've let it slip to a point where we've took the advantage away for ourselves. But certainly, if we do it, we're going to do it the hard way. There's no doubt about that. But Andy, I'm just looking forward to Sunday. I think Ibrox will be rocking. I think the crowd will be up for it. And we want an early goal. See if we can just get that early goal. And then hopefully we still keep on the play. We don't drop half. And if you can get a second goal before half time, then that would settle everybody down at Ibrox. And he'd look to come out in the second half and just try and add to it. That's all I'm looking for on Sunday. But I think if we could get an early goal, it'll keep Ibrox going right through the whole first half, and that should be enough to galvanise hopefully whatever team he picks on Sunday. That's the way I'm looking for it anyway on Sunday, Andy.
Yeah,
and
I totally agree with you there, you know.
And you come out, and you come, mate.
Yeah, totally agree. I think we'll take care of Kilmarnock on Sunday. I'm not too worried about them playing Saturday, us playing Sunday. Like Andy's talking about 6 points or whatever. We know we're playing the next day and we know we can win, so we can bring it back to the 3. I think what's going to happen here is I think that we can do it and the celebrations will be, off the scale when we do it. But we have to go to Celtic Park. We have to win. If we win there, we'll rattle them. Then they play on Kelly away on the Wednesday. They'll be rattled. They'll be under so much pressure. They'll drop points here. And that's how we're going to win the league. But we have to go there. It's simple. We have to go there and they have to show us that they can do it. And if we don't do it, then we never deserve to win in the first place. That's how I'm going to rationalise it. And then we just move on to next season. Maybe we can get the cup and then move on to next season. But yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for. So, but I'm confident. I think they can do it. I think you go through a blip, and I think we've been through the blip, and hopefully this game on Sunday they can show us the blip's over, and then we'll move forward. I think they'll play better away from home against Celtic anyway, so I think we'll win for sure.
I like your attitude. Hope you're right, mate. Hope you're right. Last word to your good self, Andrew.
I hope so.
Hope so, mate. You there, Andrew? Are you there?
I like good being on. Listen, I don't care as much as you guys. I just say as a fear. Sometimes it don't go down well, but that's just me. But I want the Rangers to win just as much as every one of you do, and you know that. And thousands of bears out there. But thanks for putting up with us anyway.
Always, mate. Always, mate. Always. Good to hear from you, mate. Yeah, are you behaving yourself?
We just had a lot going on at with a couple of main family members passed and all that. So I'm trying to pull my family together and all that.
How's Shug?
It's all right. I need to get to see him. I've not seen him for a long time, but he just sent me a great... Oh, but I better not say that because I'm live on air. He just sent me a nice wee present there that cheered me up right enough. But yeah, he's doing okay. I spoke to him through the week. I'll give him a ring tomorrow.
All right.
I'll tell him you were asking after him anyway. He'll read it anyway because he's listening.
Aye. Send me regards. At least somebody's got brains in their family. Last word for your good self, Al.
Yeah, it was good to be on with you guys. Love listening to you, and I'm actually upset with old Davey because the way he talked about his window cleaner, he described it like Pamela Anderson, but I've just seen a picture of her. She looks like Nora Barry from Last of the Summer Wine.
To be fair, if you through old Davy's eyes, that would look like Pamela Anderson. Correct, outside?
100%.
Oh dear, brilliant, brilliant, Alan. Robert, you've done me there.
Good show, Ox. Good being on with yourself and Southside. Great to hear from Andy now. Looking forward to Sunday, mate. 3 points on the board and hopefully have some nails left at the end of it.
Yeah. Southside.
Aye, no, it's been good to be on the night, mate, and thoroughly enjoyed it being on with Robert and your good self. It was good to hear we all come in for Canada, and also Andy. Good to hear him back on, phoning in. Look forward to Sunday, mate. As Big Marv kept saying, keep believing, and hopefully Ibrox will be rocking on Sunday. It's time to stand up and be counted for these players, and hopefully they'll do it, mate. Fear no foe. So thanks for having us. One team, one crown.
Yeah, and remember it's a 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Yeah, 1 o'clock, unusual time, innit? Right, okay, so Rangers Radio will be back at 12 o'clock on Sunday with a pre-match show building up to the whole victory against Kilmarnock. But thanks to Al, all the way from Canada, for joining us. Thanks to our mate, Andy Felix. Top man he is. Even though we pull his chain sometime. Thanks to Robert and Southside for doing the show. And Fox in the background, and I hope the old school Blues having a superb weekend. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Sunday, as I said. Take it away, Foxy boy.